Hello students, welcome to IMS online classes. Okay, so today we are going to start an entirely new concept and quite an interesting one actually. Okay, and that concept is force. Okay, so in our day-to-day life, you might have seen various things moving, right? You see a lot of things moving, vehicles, birds, then what are you going to say? uh, Ball, everything it is moving. So have you ever thought what is the reason behind the movement? What is the reason? Why do they move? So suppose let us consider an example. A ball is there. Okay. So a ball, if it is kept at a place, it won't move on its own, right? When it will move, either someone kicks it, right, or throws it, then only it is going to move. So that means some external, you have to, someone is making the ball to move. That cause is known as force. So force, you can say, is the cause of motion. Okay, so we can say force is the cause of motion. Okay, so that means force is the reason why an object moves. Well, if it is so, there are how this force is being applied. Well, if you remember, let me give you an example. If suppose you are going somewhere, you have a trolley bag along with you. How do you carry the trolley bag? You keep the trolley bag down and you just pull it, right? So pull is a way when you by how you are making the object to move. So if suppose a car is stopped, okay, it's not moving. So what it is done? In order to start, someone need to push it. So push is also can be a form of force. So you can say push or pull. Okay, a push or pull. Okay, is a type of force. Is a type of force which, okay, so a push or pull is a type of force which tends to change state of motion of an object. Okay, so that means we can make an object to move, either to move or to stop by either pushing or pulling it. For example, let us take the example of a football. Okay, when the football is at rest and if someone kicks it, okay, that means the person is pushing the ball starts to move, and if someone again applies the force in the opposite direction, the ball stops, right? Suppose your friend is going in the bicycle, you just hold it and you pull it backward. What will happen? The bicycle will stop, right? So force can be used either to move an object, or it can be used to either stop an object. So there are various examples where we are using push and pull to apply force. For example, to open the door, either we have to push it, okay, or you have to pull it. Then only the door is going to open, isn't it? Are you getting me? Okay. So this is one of the example. Then, in order to for the ball to pass the ball, we need to push it, right? If suppose you want to open the drawer, you want to open a drawer. So what do? You just catch the handle and you pull it. So there you are applying force. You are pulling. You are applying force. Similarly, there are different examples where push and pull is used to force. But let me tell you something, that push and pull aren't the only force. So we can say that force is the thing which only causes an object to move, right? So there are different reasons. So this, okay, can be an actual definition of force. We can't say force is a push or pull which tends the object to change its state of motion. Okay. So what exactly is force? Right? We can't say that force is in push or pull. So that is not an exact definition. What can we say exactly? That force is an force is an external agent. Okay, so what is force? Force is an external agent which causes the object to change its shape or size or state of motion. And also we can include here the direction also. Okay, we can change the force, we can use the force to change the direction of an object. For example, suppose you are playing cricket. Okay, so when you are playing cricket, the bowler is bowling at you. Suppose you are batting. Okay, you are the batsman and you are batting. When the bowler is bowling, he is pushing the ball towards you, right? And what you are doing? The ball is coming straight to you, and you are suppose you played a shot, a sweep shot, or anything. So what you did? You changed the direction of the ball by using force. So force, it can change the shape, it can change the size, it can change the speed. Okay, it can increase or decrease the speed, and it can also change the direction of the object. So there are a lot of things a force can do, and that we'll study in another video. In another part, that is effects of force. We will study it later. No need to worry. Now let's study about this quantity. Let's first get completely aware of this quantity, force. Okay, so force is a physical quantity. Understood? So let's study more about force. So now let's know a little bit more about force. As I've said earlier, force is a physical quantity. Physical quantity. Okay, that means it's just like any other physical quantity like mass, length you are measuring. So force is a type of physical quantity. Now just like length, you measure length using centimeter, meter, kilometer. Mass is generally measured in gram, kilogram, right? So similarly, these things, they are called as unit. So in order to measure the force, you need a unit, right? At first, we can say force is denoted as F. Okay, it is denoted using the English alphabet, in uppercase F. Okay, and regarding the units, okay, the SI unit in which force is measured is actually Newton. There are various units of force. Okay, units of force. Okay, force is measured sometimes in dyne. Okay, sometimes it is measured in dyne, which is a unit of force. Then it is also measured in, sometimes it is called as kilogram force. Kilogram force, which is also can be said in short as kgf. Okay, another unit of force is Newton. Okay, so there are different units in which force is measured. Just like for length, you have meter, kilometer, centimeter, mile. Similarly, in force also there are various units. Out of this, Newton, okay, is called as the SI unit. Okay, the SI unit of force is Newton, which is written as capital N. Okay, so force, if suppose you can measure around 10 Newton, it is written like that, or 20 Newton. Okay, so this is the unit of force. This is how force is measured. So no need to worry. In higher classes, you will learn more how exactly you can calculate the force. Here, just be aware about its units. Okay. So this is the unit of force and how it is denoted. Now, next, let's learn about different types of force. Well, as I said earlier, means push and pull, they are not the only definition of force, because means they are not the only force that exists around us. There are different kinds of force that are seen around us. Okay, so basically force are of various types, and it is divided mainly into two types. Based on two categories, force are divided. First, it is divided whether the object on which force is being applied, whether it interacts or not, or it is in contact or not. Based on that, force is divided into contact force and non-contact force. Okay, and based on whether the object, after the application of force, after applying force on object, whether the object is moving or not, based on that, force is again divided into balanced and unbalanced force. Okay, so ready? So, what is it? Force is categorized into two groups. First, if it causes motion. Okay, if it is about causing motion, if the force we are relating to motion, at that time force is divided into two types, whether it is balanced, okay, or unbalanced. Now, if the force is related to the interaction, okay, whether the two objects they are interacting, they are touching each other or not when the force is being applied, based on that, it is also divided into two types: contact, okay, and non-contact. Okay, so there are different type of contact force and there are different types of non-contact force. Contact force, it mainly includes contact force can be seen as muscular force, then gravitational force. Gravitational force. Non-contact force is generally magnetic force. Okay. So gravitation is actually not just a print mistake, you can say. Okay. Electrostatic. Here it will be gravitation. It does not need gravitational force. Here another force is frictional force. Frictional force, which is also called as force of friction. So these are the different types of force which we are going to study. Ready? So let's study about the different types of force. Okay. So let's study more about types of force. First, contact force. Contact force, as I said earlier, means the force which acts only when the two objects are in contact with each other. For example, push and pull. Suppose you want to push an object or you are pulling an object. In that case, you need to touch the object, right? Without touching, how you can pull or push? Well, you can if you know magic. That's a different thing. But if you want to suppose pull the trolley bag, okay? So what? You have to hold the handle and you have to pull it. Suppose you want to open the door. How you can do? You have to touch the door, right? Either directly with your hand or using a stick or anything. You have to touch the door, then only you can make the door to open. So push or pull generally acts only when the objects are in contact. That's why such kind of force are called as contact force. So contact force, as I have said earlier, it includes muscular force and frictional force. First is muscular force. Muscular force. So, what does muscular force means? Well, as the name suggests, muscular force, you can say the force, okay, exerted or applied, you can say, by our muscles. Okay, the force force exerted by our muscles are called as muscular force. Okay, like example, kicking or throwing, picking, throwing, push or pull. Okay, these are the example of muscular force, a type of muscular force. When you are kicking a ball, you are using your muscles to do that, right? So that is an example of muscular force. Okay. Then next is frictional force. Frictional force. Now let's take a let me give you an example. Suppose you have kicked a football. Okay, you kick the football. So what happens at that case? The football, it goes up to some distance. Okay, so no person is trying to stop it. Nobody is trying to stop the ball. You have just hit the ball. So is the ball is going to roll forever? It isn't, right? Slowly it will stop after going a some distance. Similarly, suppose you are riding the bicycle. We are pedaling. What will happen if you stop pedaling? The cycle will go up to some distance, then it will cycle will gradually slow down, and finally it will stop if you don't pedal. So that means, as we can say, for change in speed of an object, or for an object to stop, there needs to be a force, right? As we have studied earlier, force is a cause which makes the object to move or to stop. That means if an object is stopping, that means there is a force that is being acting on in the opposite direction. Okay, so what you can so that means that a force exists that that is making the ball to stop, or that is making the cycle to stop. That force is called as frictional force. Okay, so frictional force, you can say the force. Okay, force acting between two surfaces. Okay, the force acting between two surfaces when in contact with each other. Okay, the force which is acting between two objects when they are in contact with each other, that force is called as frictional force. And to note one thing, okay, frictional force, which is also called as force of friction, frictional force always acts opposite to the motion. So what does this mean? Frictional force always acts opposite to motion. It means the force of friction is always acts in a direction which is opposite to that of motion. Okay, so that means if an object, if it is moving in this direction, force of friction will act along the opposite direction. Okay, so you must wondering, how does this force generate? Well, no object is perfectly smooth, right? So if you carefully observe an object under a microscope, you will see that suppose in a box, if this portion, if you observe under a microscope, what you will see that this portion, okay, if you zoom, it will be like little bit like this. So it is not completely plain. It has some high ups and downs. They are called grooves. Okay, they are called as grooves. So similarly, the surface on which this box is, the surface also has some grooves, right? So when the object is moving from one surface to another surface, there is an interlocking. There is an interlocking between the grooves and ridges. So due to this interlocking, the frictional force is developed. Okay, so that's how frictional force acts, due to the interlocking between two surfaces. Understood? Now, So the frictional force depends upon the smoothness of the surface. If the surface is smooth, that means friction is less. If the surface is rough, then the friction will be more. So recall, in a smooth surface, for example, in a muddy area, it is difficult to walk when the area is muddy. You will slip often because the surface is quite smooth. But so the grip, it won't be, it can't be made properly. But in a rough surface, you can walk free, right? So that is how friction works. So these are the two different types of contact force. Understood? Now let's study about non-contact force. Okay. So now non-contact force. So what is this non-contact force means? Non-contact force means generally if in some case the force is being applied when the objects are not in contact. Means at a distance you can apply the force. Well, what do you think about it? Is it magic or something? Means you're pulling or you're going to push or pull an object from a distance? Well, it's actually the magic of science. Okay, in this concept, in this case, we can see some forces which can either change the, it can make the object to move or to go rest by applying force at a distance without in a contact with them. Okay, so non-contact force includes, first, as I said earlier, magnetic force. Magnetic force. What is magnetic force? The force exerted by magnet. Okay. The force exerted by magnets. The force exerted by magnet on a magnetic substance. On a magnetic substance. Such kind of force is called as magnetic force. So you might have, well, I guess all of you might have played with magnets, right? So when a magnet is nearby, it will attract all the nearby iron particles. So that means it is pulling all the iron particles towards itself. So if it is pulling, that means it is applying some kind of force. That force is called as magnetic force. And we know that in case of magnets, it is not only restricted to pulling, it can push also. How it does? We know that in case of magnets, if you bring two magnets near each other, so either they will attract or they will repel. So that means either they will pull each other or they will push each other. And we know how it will happen. Like and unlike poles. Okay? Unlike poles attract each other and like poles repel each other. Okay? So this is magnetic force. Next, non-contact force is electrostatic force. Okay, so what does this electrostatic force mean? Electrostatic force here, it means that you might, let me give one example so you can understand it better. I guess you might have played with a scale or comb when you rub the scale or comb in your hair and try to attract paper bits. You can make the paper bits to dance, right? Without directly touching it. So how it happens? It happens due to this electrostatic force. So electrostatic force is a type of force that the force of attraction that develops between two charged objects, two oppositely charged objects, or between a charged and uncharged object. Okay, so like that case, the paper was attracted towards the scale or the comb that you have rubbed with your hair. So it was moving towards it, right? So this force is called as electrostatic force. Okay. The force of attraction, okay, or you can say repulsion between two charged bodies. Okay. Force of attraction or repulsion between two charged bodies or a charged uncharged. Uncharged body. Okay? So the force of attraction or repulsion between two charged bodies or a charged and an uncharged body, that force is called as electrostatic force. Okay? So that's why the paper bits, they attract each other. Understood? So this is also a non-contact force. So finally, last but not the least, gravitational force. Okay, so what does this gravitational force? Suppose you throw one ball or a stone towards the sky. So no matter how distance, how far it goes, it is sure to come down, right? What goes up should come down. Let us say. So it will come. It will surely come down. So you have applied the force to send the ball away or send the stone into the sky, but it again comes down. So that means there is a force which is pulling the object towards the ground, isn't it? The force which is holding us on the earth. We know that we all know that earth rotates around its own axis and it revolves around the sun, and we are on its surface. So why don't we fall down? We fall out of earth because this force, this gravitational force, okay, this is holding us, this is pulling us towards it itself. So we are bounded to it. No matter how high we jump, we again come back to earth. So no matter how high you throw the stone, it will again come back to earth. So it comes back because of this gravitational force. So what we can say, the force, okay, of attraction. So force of attraction exerted by the earth. Okay, the force of attraction exerted by earth is actually is a gravitational force. Well, to be exact, it's actually an understatement. Well, because even in your higher class you will study, the gravitational force is not restricted to earth only. It existed to all celestial bodies and even all objects. Between any two objects, there is a force of attraction because of masses, and that force of attraction is called its gravitational force. Okay, so I hope you understood the different types of non-contact force. Now let's study about balanced and unbalanced force. Well, it is quite simple. Okay. Balanced force. So I hope you might have seen some of them, they're playing tug of war, or you might yourself have ever played tug of war, right? Tug of war, when two groups, they pull the rope towards itself. Now in the game of tug of war, if both sides, the players on the both sides, they are equally strong, it means the rope won't move, right? So in this case, the force both sides is balanced. So that's why the object is not moving. In such case, the force which is applied there is called as balanced force. Okay? We already said that force causes motion. Force is the cause of motion. But that doesn't mean every force will cause motion. There are some forces which does not cause the motion, or like balanced force. Okay? So the force, okay, the forces acting in opposite direction. Forces acting in opposite direction, but are equal in magnitude. Okay. So in this case, this type of force is called as balanced force. For example, suppose there is a box, okay, and two persons are trying to push the box. Okay, so let this person is A and this person is B. So this person is applying the force in this direction and he is applying the force in this direction, opposite direction. If the giving same amount of force, suppose he is giving a force of 20 Newton and he is also giving a force of 20 Newton. So if same amount of force, both of them are applying towards the same direction, so there won't be any movement, net movement of the box. So that means in this case they are applying the force, but it isn't causing any motion. So this kind of force is called as balanced force. Okay, and the opposite is the unbalanced force. Unbalanced force. So what happens? Suppose the box is here. Okay, now both of them are pushing in the same direction. So what will happen? The box will move. In this case, the opposite direction, there is less force is there. Or if you take the same example, okay, so what will happen? Suppose here another person, okay, this one is A, this one is B. Now he is giving 20 Newton force in this direction, but in this direction he is only giving 10 Newton force. So in this direction the force is less. In this direction the force is more. So the box will move towards the direction where the force is more. Like just like in tug of war, if one side the team is quite strong and the other side is little weak, then the rope will go towards the stronger side because they have more force, right? So the object moves where the net force is more. Such type of force is called as unbalanced force. So always remember, motion is generally caused due to unbalanced force. Okay, so these are the different types of force. This is for now. Have a nice day. Thank you.